Well, Griffin, we really do appreciate you joining us on this Friday. Are we Friday, San Francisco? Holy buckets, this season goes crazy. Finally got rid of the family, right? You're by yourself now in San Francisco?
Yeah, just me.
Man, what is, I guess we'll first start with the obvious. What has been this week been like? Has it settled in? Just give us everything.
Yeah, a whirlwind. I guess that's obvious. Feel like things move really fast. You know, obviously a lot of guys say the same thing.
Yep.
That your first couple days are a blur, and just do your best to be present and take it all in. And I feel like I did a good job of that in Colorado. Not too much, because like you don't want to be taking everything in. It could be overwhelming. So just picking my spots to just enjoy the park and realize where I'm at and all the work it took to get there.
When we had your dad on, I don't know if I've ever seen him as emotional. He said it's the most nervous he's ever been. He's played in World Series. He's made great throws. Did you think Pops would be as emotional as he was getting to see his son fulfill his lifelong dream?
I think, it's tough with him. He's a very stoic guy.
Yeah.
I think anyone that has covered him or seen him play or any of that knows he's very even keel with everything, and I think that's what made him such a consistent player. But obviously cool to see him show some emotion, and I think as as a long time coming as it was, there's such a buildup of things like that. So I think I knew it'd be a real special time for both of us.
Could you give us any insight of some conversations that you had with him? Did he break down a little bit? Did he see at any point this week he give you anything that will always stick with you?
I think it actually came weeks before in Jacksonville. He came up and we kind of just, it was after all the trades went down and there's so much craziness going on, and a lot of guys getting opportunities, and he kind of just came up, and that was like his time to tell me to just focus up basically, and don't treat it as if you're getting passed up in this opportunity. There's still time. You have a crucial few weeks left of the season here, and just stay on top of your stuff, man. He's like, I know how hard you worked, and the opportunity is there. It's just you're gonna have to wait for it, and you're gonna have to just make that last little step to earn it. And I think during these conversations, I could tell he was a little, that was where the emotion started to come out a little bit, just because he knows. He just goes, you're so close, man. You are. And I think there's times where I didn't know if I felt that as much as he did, and it was always awesome to hear it from him and just get that little boost.
When we had him on a couple of weeks ago, it was just amazing how high, and he's your dad, and I get that, and we'll go away from the dad topic after this, but he was so complimentary of just your discipline, and just, he goes, you know what, the kid works. Like, I can't say anything about it. He works, he's disciplined, he's smart, and I just thought that was so amazing to hear just from your pops. Just forget the baseball, just the discipline of it, that you were ready for this, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, I live with my parents' house in the off season, so they have a front door seat to like what goes into it and how I go about my stuff every day. And I think that's a big testament as far as where he gets that from, and just being able to see it day in and day out, especially in the season. It's easy because you want to work every day, and obviously you have eyes on you every day, and the coaching staff, whatever, they're all here for you and wanting you to be your best. But I think the off season is where it really kind of separates guys from. There's no one watching you. There's no one checking in like, hey, you got to get your work in today. It's kind of just like, it's on you. That's your time to, how bad do you want it basically, and what are you going to do to take the next step when it's really easy to just say like, I'm going to chill. This is a long season, and I want to rest up, and that stuff's good, and that's important. But at the same time, you just got to know what it is you need to do to get there. And I think that line can be hazy at times, but it's just a grind every day. And I think that's he got to see a lot of that, the past couple off seasons, and I think it probably feels really good for him to just see the gratification of reaching the goal.
I'll ask you this then, Griffin, because I think a lot of us, and I remember chatting with you, I think after the trade actually a couple of years ago, maybe it was during COVID, we were on Zoom together for a team podcast too. We've all known your story. You weren't a big prospect in high school. You started to blossom late. You went to Duke, struggled, and then you teed off. It was your junior year, right, that you went crazy, or was it your sophomore year?
His sophomore year, had a good year. The Cape had a very good summer.
Yes,
and then
it was the Cape, everything that turned. You mentioned you and your dad talking in Jacksonville a few weeks ago, but Did you ever waver in your belief that this opportunity was never going to come? I mean, how hard is it? There are so many guys, man, that they wait and they feel like they're that close and the call never comes. Is that the hard part, or was that the hard part?
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think also my position as far as this being the 7th year of my deal, that I'm going to be a free agent after the next year.
Yep.
Obviously, that's changed now. That still could be a possibility.
Sure.
I'm not going to think about that, but at the same time, that went into it as well, where I was like, if they don't see that with me as this being the future, then it'd be easy for them to kind of just, I could look elsewhere in the off season, and that could be what happens. So I think that was on my mind heavy. And but as far as day to day, I don't think the motivation ever wavered.
Yeah.
I knew that. With how much guys cycle in and out and how crazy it's been lately, that there's no reason for me to stop doing what I do. And obviously, even if they had told me like, hey, there's no chance of you getting up this year, like plain and simple, I think, I'm still playing the game every day. I still want to, finish the year strong and go into the off season strong and feeling good about how the year ended, because it had been and has been, the best year of my professional career, and made a lot of important adjustments, and it's cool to see those kind of come to fruition, and still a lot of work to go, and I know that, but at the same time, kind of step back and just sometimes got to be like, we're here, like we've made the adjustments, they're starting to show up, and it's really encouraging.
Have you bonded with John Jay over your love of skateboarding? Yeah. Don't I remember you were big into skateboarding,
yeah,
right? And drawing. You used to draw.
Right.
You still draw?
Right.
I remember you telling me you drew.
Drawing has sort of taken a bit of a back seat
to being a big league ball player. Is that right? No, kid.
No Picasso.
I think I'm really into music now. I make music on my computer, and that's kind of like the outlet for me. I think
all right.
Younger
you make
age.
Beats? What do you do?
Yeah, production mostly.
Okay.
All kinds of stuff.
Will you walk up to that music?
I don't. I've been asked that a lot. I don't know if that will ever happen. We'll see. I think. Now, I'm not gonna say it would be cringe, Obviously, if I
I know
felt
what you're
like,
saying.
you know what I mean. Like, if I felt like if
saying.
it was truly something I loved and could pump me up, then I would do it.
You and Jose Iglesias, the OMG, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, that is cool.
Is it rap? What are you doing? Like what?
It's like hip hop, a little EDM-y,
okay.
Stuff that's hard hitting. I like loud drums and kick drums and stuff like that.
So it's a little therapeutic then in your spare time.
Oh yeah. Every road trip, you'll see me with a computer and headphones on. I love doing it on the plane.
Okay, and the skateboarding?
Skateboard, I still, there's a skateboard in my trunk at all times, and it's not different than how when I was younger. I'm not launching myself off steps and.
Good answer.
Yeah, I'm nothing that could possibly get me hurt, but I do like to just cruise around, and that's good therapy as well.
Back to the music. Are you like a John Summit guy? Like what are we talking as far as EDM? How?
I think I love the Chainsmokers.
Okay.
I think that's probably the biggest influence. I listen to them a lot. They have a lot of really cool videos on YouTube showing how they break down stuff, how they come about it.
Really?
Muramasa as well is a really cool and talented producer. So I think I like a lot of different stuff, but I think those kind of.
When'd you pick it up? Was that Duke? Was that in
it
college?
Was, yeah.
Really?
It was a kid that lived directly across the hall from me is a really talented singer. He was in an a cappella group at Duke, and he actually lives in LA, and he was one of the first texts I got when I was called up, and he was so excited. And,
is he coming up here?
I think he's going to try.
Cool.
We'll see. I hope he's able to make it out. That'd be really cool to see him and connect again. But that was kind of, we collaborated on some stuff, and that's kind of what propelled it, and then I stuck with it after.
Wow, is he big time in LA now? Is he singing?
He's doing a lot of cool stuff. He wrote a musical. He's more on a Broadway kind of sense. He was acting, so he's into all of it. I got to catch up with him and find out what his next move is, but he's kind of he does a lot. That's
amazing.
Yeah.
And now we might get to see you play here in San Francisco. Are you a day-to-day guy? Do you look down the road? Because it's hard not to think. I know you just mentioned a couple of minutes ago, like what's going to happen after this year, right? Now that you're here, are you very just present every morning? You wake up every day. It's just day-to-day, or is it hard not to think about what the future lies?
Yeah, I think like you hit the nail on the head. Just day-to-day and taking nothing for granted. Trying to get comfortable. Trying to learn my team. It's a whole new team. A lot of these guys I had met briefly. So just taking it day by day. I think just I can't afford to think about the future at all right now. So I think just trying to stay present.
Do you feel as comfortable as you look out there?
No.
Really? when we're like, yo, it looks like this guy's like been ready like for a while. You don't look overmatched, and you're going to strike out 10 times in a row. But do you feel as comfortable as you look?
I'll say like I think the first couple of days I would say no, and then like it was surprised me how quickly it did feel normal though.
Is it the speed? What is it? What is it that is so that next jump from AAA to the big leagues that is just so like holy buckets?
I think it's a lot of things. It's the speed. It's the brightness of everything. The fact that all eyes are on you, right? Like in AAA, like you're not getting covered. Like you make a blooper, you make something that happens that's not good. Like it's not going to be all over the web. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think just knowing that and knowing like the gravity of, winning, how important winning is at this level, like it's everything. We want to win games. Even the season, how it's gone for us, obviously, like we want to finish strong here and put together good ball games and use that as momentum towards next year. So I think just all that is that heightened sense of how everything matters. Whereas AAA, of course it matters, and they do preach winning, and that's important. But at the same time, it's a lot about development and just working on your craft. And here it's like, all right.
They keep your receipts up here.
Exactly, yeah. You've worked on your craft. Now it's like, all right, make it count. Like, let's go.
So put me in the shoes of a place I'll never be when you make your debut on Monday. 9th inning. I get it. That's a tough situation. Is it the weakest you've ever felt in your knees? Like, can you compose yourself at all, or what happened then? And then I'd ask you to take me into Tuesday, and you get your first hit. Obviously, it's the triple. Did everything? Players say this, that it does when it happens. It finally starts to slow down a little bit. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the way
you had your hand out here, I thought it was gone too. The way you held your hand when you hammered that thing.
I thought maybe the elevation and all, but I think like when I think back to that first at bat. I couldn't feel anything.
Really?
I couldn't feel.
It's a tough place to be.
Yeah, like usually, obviously, you don't want to be thinking about stuff in the box as far as your hitting goes, and you want to be clear-headed. And I don't think I was like had a flurry of thoughts, but at the same time, it was almost like approach seemed to go out the window. Like I wasn't. I look at the scouting report on Kinley.
What did they say again?
I knew what I was looking for, but at the same time, like I got up there and I was just like. Every pitch, I was like, "This might be the one. Like, we got to go." And like, it was very rushed, and I think that's that's normal. And I think the fact that I knew I was going to be pinch hitting the whole game kind of played into that.
Thinking about it for hours.
Like, I almost would have rather him just said like, "Hey, grab a bat, you're going to go," instead of like knowing that like, okay, when it's going to come? Is it going to be in the 7th? Is it going to be in the 8th? Who am I going to be facing? So I'm taking swings in between innings, trying to get ready, starting in like the 5th. And by the time it finally got there, I was so geared up that like. I was just in go mode, and I think then you go to Tuesday, and then it's like we can have a full pregame routine. I know who I'm facing. I faced Quantrill last year, so I know what I'm getting. Like there's that sense of comfort. Like okay, I've seen this guy before. Like I know what he's coming with. It's nothing out of this world. It's just control the strike zone. Same thing stuff I've been doing in AAA, and I think I was telling someone. One of my friends that was here that my last week in Nashville, I almost felt like I had put more like I was more geared up than I was for that game.
Really?
Just because I think of where we're at and where we're at in the year, and like I've just been not pressing, but like really wanting to have good at bats down the stretch. Not even necessarily like for the call up, but just for myself. Like I want to.
Right.
I don't want to give anything away because those are the ones that after the season ends, you kind of look back on and you don't feel great about. So. I think I was just like really geared up for those games in Nashville, and I think the fact that they had a really good pitching staff. A lot of those guys are big leaguers in their pen, a lot of velo, so all that kind of played into it. And then that second game, at the first start, I think after the first at bat walk too, I think that was big. I saw like a lot of pitches, made some big takes
at the time. I think
right. So I think that was like a huge to set up the rest of the game.
And then you get the hit, and you're standing on third. Did it feel like the weight of the world is off your shoulders? What are you thinking when you're standing on third? A triple, no less, Griffin.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a crazy roller coaster of, I make contact, I'm running, I see that, both the outfielders kind of turn their backs. I'm like, holy blank, this is a hit. Yeah. Like, this is it. And then I'm like, holy, this might go out. This might go out. And then, like, there's all that. I have no idea.
Holy, I got to run.
And then I have no idea how I touched first because I did not look at the bag hit at all. I was just all eyes on the ball, and I guess my foot found it, luckily. That would have been tough
imagine?
if I missed it. and then they come back and it's an out. But yeah, exactly. And then I see the kick, how far it kicks, and I'm like, all right, I got to get to third on this ball, and then hopefully score on the next ball. So it was just a crazy flur of everything you could feel, I think, at once. And then once
there was
you got
some
there,
franchise history too. Ichiro's 3,000th hit came years ago here in Colorado. Your first major league hit in Colorado was a triple.
I heard
Ichiro's
that too.
was a triple, his 3,000th hit.
That's very cool.
Did you see the? Do you follow the Legends of Dade on Instagram or no? Are you like a social media guy or?
I am like here and there.
They did your comp of your dad throwing out the runner in the playoffs,
right.
And then like. That's kind of it's pretty sick.
It's awesome. It's awesome. I think
got a good hop there in the outfield. That was a beautiful throw, but someone put that on a tee for you. That was a beautiful hop.
The ball does kind of check up with that grass there, and once it bounced right to my chest, I was like, all right, here we go. Like, this is the one you dream of as an outfielder. It's easy transfer and just let it eat.
Go ahead, Kyle. No, go ahead. I got
I'm
one
just
more.
curious, when you get to the big leagues and the lights are brighter and there's the third deck that you haven't experienced, Did even in the first at bat or even in day two, does the pitcher feel closer? Like, does everything feel rushed? I'm sure there's ballparks where you feel, I feel great today, but did it feel like the pitcher's on top of you? Or like, how does it feel standing there?
I think that sort of thing varies a lot, I think, park to park, which is weird because the mound's always 60 feet 6 inches.
So they
and even in the minors, some places, it just feels right on top of you, I think, because the backdrop. But in Colorado, it felt pretty normal, I thought. Yeah, it didn't seem like anything crazy. I felt a lot more comfortable than I thought it would.
Nice.
How pumped are you to make your home debut? I know we're here in San Francisco, but like to get that first time in your state, you know what I'm saying?
100%. That's something too that like we talk about being present day to day. Like I've almost not even thought about like the fact that in 3 days we're going to be back in Miami and playing there, and that's going to be a whole nother. Like, I feel like I'm going to be doing it all over again as far as, like, oh, my God, like, I'm here, and that's where I watched so many games. I watched the first Marlins game ever there, and then went to so many games over the years, so that's going to be a whole new. But I do think, like, the fact that I've spent so much time there is going to make it seem more comfortable.
Sure.
Like, I've never been to Denver. I've never been to this stadium. So those are all, like, new environments, so I think, like, that part of it, I think, will help me, or I will be able to use that a little bit to my advantage, but also, thought a lot about the walk-up as well. That's going to be important.
What was the story that Chat told us yesterday? Can you? I forget.
Oh,
what was
shoot.
it? Was the pitcher
all right,
that
Reed
you faced?
Cornelius. Have you heard this story? So Brian Chatton told us that Reed Cornelius, and I'll try to understand this the best I could, who used to be the bullpen coordinator. Right. You know Reed at all?
Yeah, I saw him in Denver, and I got to catch up a little bit.
The day that you were born, Reed's daughter was born 4 doors down in the same exact hospital.
Okay, I didn't know that.
And your dad was there, and obviously Reed was there.
Right, yeah.
Chat was like, this was crazy the way that Reed was telling the story. I feel like I'm missing a
there
big
was
part.
The pitcher that you faced in your debut. What was his Andrew? What was his
Cal Quantrill?
No.
Tyler
the ninth
Kinley.
inning. Tyler Kinley was part of this story. I'm totally throwing you on the spot. I'm sorry for doing that, but we heard.
Or maybe it was Kinley's sister or somebody. There was a crazy connection to your debut facing Tyler Kinley, and it was a story that Reed Cornelius told Brian Chatton.
Well, Kinley was born at that point. I think it was his sister. That was born on the same day.
Oh, really?
As
4
you,
doors down from you.
Wow.
Which was just crazy, just because his, obviously.
And then I think Steven, you have it right. And then you faced Tyler Kinley in your debut.
Okay,
which
wow.
is wild.
That is crazy. That's some universe
amazing
stuff right there.
Hey, let me ask you this, and I know we'll let you go here in a couple
we got
minutes.
a game in a couple hours.
Do you think at all that growing up in a big league clubhouse and just shagging balls has helped this for you, like being in the major leagues, or are you so far removed from being a little boy and kind of paving your own path?
I think there's levels to it where it does. I think there's parts of it that does help. Just being able to see those guys at a young age, all these great big leaguers, and how they went about their business. Like obviously I was a young kid, so I wasn't like studying everyone and like making sure like, oh, when I'm a big leaguer, I'm going to do this. But now like when I think back to it, and just a lot of different small things that professionals do, and that stuff's important, I think, and that routine, how important routines are, and how guys do the same thing every single day because that's what locks them in, and that stuff I think definitely helps once you get up here because like your routine's everything, and you try to, obviously some things are going to change from AAA and the timing of things is different, but if you can find something that you can do every day, whether it's from when you wake up to when you go to the park, and then from when you go to the park to when you play the game, if you can kind of find a way to streamline that and do that every day, like that takes pressure off in itself. So like it's hard on the road, starting on the road, because like your routine's thrown off a little bit. You have a different road routine. So I think
flights are a little easier, aren't they?
Yeah, the flights aren't bad. So I think all of that like kind of combined to just make things a little bit easier.
Did you say this is your first time here? Did you ever come out here with your dad or anything?
I don't think I've been to San Francisco, but I never had come to a game.
Cool park.
Yeah, awesome park.
Not too many visiting players can put one in McCovey Cove, so that's a challenge.
You went from like Colorado where you can swing that thing, and here it's a little bit,
A funny story about that is I was looking, Instagram DMs, trying to answer all of them. Got one from a guy that is known as McCovey Cove Dave.
Oh, yeah. This is a big thing lately.
And this is a big – and he sent me a long message about how – he goes after every home run in McCovey Cove. He's got a kayak, I guess, or some kind of boat.
Oh, he's got a kayak.
He's got a kayak, and he said he's already making deals with me about if I hit my homer out there. He's like, I know it'll be your first one. He said he's got a thing where he loves the number 56. It's special to him in some way, and that this would be his 56th ball that he's gotten.
Okay,
and
now
that
let me stop
56.
you here.
Holy crap.
Do you know what's happened in the last couple of weeks with the Michael Harris II thing?
No, I do not.
Okay, he just came off the injured list. And Michael Harris II, in his first at-bat off the injured list, hit his first Major League Grand Slam here. And he hit it into McCovey Cove. And McCovey Cove Dave got it, and he refused to give the ball back because he wanted a bunch of different things. So Michael Harris II got a little bit, not upset, but he was like, well, what am I going to do? I don't know exactly what. If you just Google his name, the story's going to pop up from a couple of weeks ago. So it's hilarious, and make sure we clip this, that this guy's already trying to make deals with you in case you put one into McCovey Cove out there. This guy, you know
this
what?
Guy proactive, respect
my
the hustle.
antenna's up on McCovey Cove Dave. Yeah, be careful. I don't know how you're getting this thing back. This guy wants a lot.
Well, that's the thing. The deal, all he said, and like obviously he could ask for more when the time comes.
Yeah.
But he just said he wants to give it to me in person and he wants a photo. That's all he said he wanted.
That's it.
That's what he said. And I'm like, well, that sounds too good to be true because I'm very low on bats right now. So like I
really?
Yeah, I
saw there was a Dick's down the road the other day. If you need me to go grab you one tomorrow, what are you swinging at 34 or what?
I got special.
Okay,
I got my own model.
All right. There's a Rawlings down the road. I can grab you.
I've ordered more already, so hopefully those can be sped up and get here. But Will was asking like, what would you be willing to trade? Like they're gonna if they ask for a bat, and I'm like I don't know if I could do a bat right now.
Okay.
So like anything else, but a bat would be tough.
We can wrap this up, Steve, and now I've got to show Griffin this.
Hold on. So who is this guy? I've never heard of
You're gonna
McCovey Cove Dave.
He's had a big. There he is. There's McCovey Cove Dave. Meet home run hunter McCovey Cove Dave, and if you just Google his name and Michael, it's already coming up. Michael Harris. There's a Giants fan, McCovey Cove Dave, at odds with Braves over Grand Slam ball. This was 2 weeks ago.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't hear about it.
All right.
Well, dude, thank you so much for dropping in and doing this on a game day, nonetheless. So we're so happy for you. We're so pumped to cover you, and we really do appreciate you carving out time for us, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't have one in the McCovey Cove. This is going to become a big to-do, Griffin.
You got
to go to the opposite field at Oracle Park.
Yeah.
Congrats, Griffin.
Thank you.